Alright guys, so this is kind of an introduction to the video. I'm adding this in after I already recorded it. I'm editing it right now, and pretty much as you see on the screen right now, these are two custom Madden Mobile 18 loading screens that I made, and I posted the Luke Kuechly one on my Instagram, and I used the Julio Jones one as a thumbnail, and a lot of you guys thought these were absolutely sick, and you wanted to know how to make them. So this isn't going to be a Madden Mobile video, but this is going to be a Photoshop tutorial for you guys who want like a new hobby for the end of the summer and maybe even continuing into Madden Mobile 18. So if you guys aren't interested, that's fine. I'll have some Madden Mobile videos tomorrow or the next day most likely. But this is going to be a pretty long video, and it's going to go pretty in depth on how I start designing these. And if you guys do like this sort of stuff, let me know in the comment section, because I've gotten so many requests for it. And if you guys aren't interested, then just click away right now, because this is just going to be for the people who want to learn how to do this. So as you guys can see, they look pretty good, and I'm going to show you guys the picture on the thumbnail of the Travis Kelce background. We're going to make that live for you guys right now. Let's get right into it. Hey, what is going on guys? Sabrtooth here, and today I am doing something a little bit different. So you guys have seen on my thumbnails and just other things, if you've looked at my Instagram, you'll probably see some posts as well. Link to that is in the description. And I have started to do a lot of Photoshop lately. I do a lot of custom cards and such, and you might have seen on my last video on ratings predictions, I did make that Julio Jones thumbnail, and a lot of you guys thought that looked really cool. And I decided, you know what, Madden Mobile, there's not too much content in the game, but if you guys want like a new hobby that you can continue over to Madden Mobile 18 and just get some skills on like graphic design and that sort of thing, who knows where this will take you guys. Maybe someday you'll become a graphic designer. I highly doubt it, but it's just something fun that I wanted to do. A lot of people have asked me to make a Photoshop tutorial, so here we go. Pretty much as you guys can see, I am on Android. This is just my phone. I have all free apps, so you guys need absolutely no money. You can get the majority of these apps off the App Store, but Photoshop Touch is unfortunately no longer available for the Apple or Android App Store. So what we're going to have to do to get this is on Android, you're going to have to look up PS Touch APK. It's off this website called apkmirror.com, something like that. It's pretty much just downloading it off the internet. Just use your browser, and it's 100% safe. I've downloaded it on multiple devices, and pretty much that's the only way you can get it for Android. For iOS, just look up on YouTube PS Touch download tutorial, something like that. I guarantee you'll be able to figure it out. I have no idea because I don't have any Apple devices, but you guys should be able to figure that out as well. Other apps you're going to need, Fonto. Pretty much all this is an app that allows you to download fonts onto your phone. So like the card font used for making Madden Mobile cards, I have that on there. You can get that from Hawk's Nest. He's another YouTuber, does some cool designs and stuff. Go over to his channel, and there's a video from like a year ago on him designing Madden Mobile 16 custom cards. There's a link to some templates and stuff in the description. So if you want to go over there, get the card font to start working on Madden Mobile custom cards. If you like this video idea, make sure to smash that like button, and I will maybe come out with some card tutorials. I don't know if I'm going to do any because Madden Mobile 17 is almost over. Maybe I'll wait for Madden Mobile 18. We'll see how the response is on this video. And finally, you're just going to need an eraser app. Just a basic, pretty much anything will do, and all you need that for is to erase the background of any photos that you have of your players to start making your background. So I'm just going to go into Google Chrome because that's the browser that I use, and what you want to do is first we need to find the player that we want to do. So go to Google Advanced Image Search, just look that up. I'm going to be doing a Travis Kelce on the Madden Mobile 18 loading screen background. You guys can choose any player in the NFL, and then what you're going to want to do is filter the image by size. You're going to want to select larger than 4 megapixels. So this is what this is going to do, is it's only going to show you some super high quality photos, so it's not blurry or anything like that. And now you can see we're already getting a lot of photos. We're going to want to find one that looks good, he's in a good position, and it looks like it could realistically be made into a loading screen. So some of the ones like this, I mean, it's probably a pretty HD photo once it loads. It is, but really, would you want that on the cover of Madden Mobile? No, you definitely wouldn't. I mean, maybe some of you guys would. I can't speak for you, but just try to find a good looking pose, nothing boring or like that. Or if he's to the side like this, like that's a pretty cool catch photo, but they would never put something like that on the cover because his face isn't even pointing towards the camera, so don't choose something like that. I can really tell you guys, maybe you have a personal preference for pictures, but I'm just going to use this one right here. This looks pretty good. Once it loads, it looks like it's a pretty HD photo, and all I have to do to download is just tap and hold, download that image, and then we're going to take this image, go back to our home screen, and then we're going to go over to our eraser app, and I have already erased this photo. I did it before the video, so I didn't have to waste any time, but I'm just going to show you guys real quick. All you need to do is load into this eraser app if it actually ends up loading. Here we go. And then, no, I don't want to share. For some reason, it's cutting off a bit of the screen because of my screen recorder. Not sure why. But we're just going to go into our recent photos. And if it actually loads, all you have to do is select this one right here. This is our most recent photo. And then you're just going to crop it out. And then you can go ahead and erase that yourself. I don't want to waste time doing this in this video because it's already going to be long enough and it's going to take me forever to upload, but I think it should be worth it. So what you guys want to do is kind of just crop it. You're never going to see the legs in any of these, whether you're making a custom card or a home screen. They never show his legs, and then all you're going to want to do is just go around here, and you guys can see, just cut out the background like that, zoom in, try to be as precise as possible, and that's pretty much all you're going to do. I'll show you guys the end product of me cutting out this photo, and then we're gonna start actually making the loading screen. I'll be right back in a bit. Alright guys, now that you have your player cut out and everything, the only other things you need to get from the internet are an NFL logo. So you can just look up the NFL logo like the one you see here and the EA Sports logo. That's literally all you need until a little bit later. And now what we're gonna do is go ahead and take a screenshot of your Madden Mobile home screen loading page. So I already have one right here, and you start a new project and you just open up the home screen. So this is what we're going to be working with to start. Next thing you want to do is we're going to go to the plus button down here, and we're going to say duplicate layer. So that's going to have us pretty much have two of these so we can work on editing one of them. So first thing that I usually like to do is work on the NFLPA logo down here. So you can probably find this exact logo somewhere on the internet, but I'm just kind of too lazy to do that. So what you want to do is drag and make a box around it, hit this editing tool up here, and you're going to say extract. So what that's going to do is now that's the only thing that's showing. This is the only part of that layer that we have left. And now all we have to do, so when you tap this little button down here, that hides the other layer, which is pretty much just another section of your project. And now what we're gonna do is go to this right here, this kind of sliders button. We're gonna say replace color, and then what we can do is take a sample color. So click the little color next to the sample color, and then we're gonna take the dropper tool, drag it to the color you want to get rid of, and now we're gonna increase the threshold. Now what this means is it's just gonna take more color, so it's just pretty much saying anything that's even close to that blue color, it's gonna select. So now that we have all that blue is pretty much gone, we're gonna say replace color, and instead of pink, what you want to do, see this bar right here that says opacity, just drag this all the way down to 0%, and now we just have a nice see-through NFL Players Association logo. Now it doesn't look that great right now because it's kind of on this weird checker background, but trust me, it will look pretty much identical to the one that is on the game. So you can't even tell a difference when I hide and clear the layer. So there we go. First step is done, the NFLPA logo. Second thing that we need to do is work on actually making the Madden Mobile logo. So once again, we're going to go ahead and hit the plus button over here, but this time we're going to say photo layer, and we're going to go into our photo layers and find our downloaded options, our downloaded photos rather, and that'll be right here in our download tab. And we're just going to take the EA Sports logo to start out with. Just try to get the one that looks closest to the one that we have in the game. This one looked pretty good to me, so we're going to go ahead and put that in right there. Now, as you guys can see, it does have a white background, but that is okay. We're going to be able to take that out. Now, to take it out, all you need to do is go ahead, go to this magic wand tool right here, and then make sure it is on this plus mode. We're gonna tap the white area, so you get this dotted line around the EA Sports, hit the pencil tool, hit clear, and then we're gonna go over here and we're gonna say deselect. So pretty much all that did is just clear out all the white space. So now it looks pretty good. And now we're gonna hit this move button up here. It's the cross arrow all the way to the left, and then you're just gonna resize it and drag it around where you want. So pretty much we're just gonna try to match it up as best as we can to the actual logo in the game. Gonna need to make it a bit smaller here. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I think that looks pretty good. And how you can check how good it is by hiding the layer right here. So it's a little bit too big. We'll shrink it down a tiny bit. As you guys can see over at that layers menu, you can, if you tap on that white circle on the top, you can hide and show the layers, so you can kind of compare to the original one. And this one is a little off, but we can always fix that later. That's no big deal. So there's our EA Sports logo in. You guys can mess around until you get it absolutely perfect for the purpose of the video. I'm not going to do that right now, but you guys, if you want it to look really good, make sure that that's on point. Now we're going to add in this NFL logo. Now this one also has a background, so you guys know exactly what to do. We're going to shrink it down a bit because this is a really big logo. And we're going to go to the magic wand tool. We're already on it. Select, and then clear. And there we go. Over to here and deselect. Alright, so now we have the NFL logo. Now we're going to hit the move button once again, which is the four pointed arrows. Shrink it down, move it over, match it up. That's all you got to do. This is one of the easiest parts of making the logo. Do you guys see how it kind of like skips around? I don't know if you guys can see that, but it kind of locks into place when I'm trying to... Look at that. See how it's locking into place? How you can fix that is hit this little magnet button so that no longer is it going to automatically magnet to where it thinks it's going to be. You can have complete control over what you want to do. So that looks pretty good. That's almost perfect. So there we go. Now we have the Madden, the NFL shield and the EA Sports logo in place. Now all we got to do is get the Madden on its own, because right now if we hide this, it's just going to be our NFL PA logo, our EA Sports logo, and our NFL logo. That looks nothing like a home screen, but it will get there, guys, trust me. So next thing you got to do, deselect all this. I don't know why I did that. Now what you're going to want to do is go ahead, select the selection tool, which is just that dotted box. Go down to our home screen once again, and we're going to make another copy of this. Duplicate layer, done. And now it's time for the text. So we're going to highlight this text right here, and we are going to say extract. So you guys already know what that does. It takes it out and it makes its own little thing. Now this is going to take a little bit of playing around, but you're going to need to do the replace color tool once again. Now what you're going to want to do here, it's already pretty good. If you guys just kept the setting from the sample color from the other one, then this will work out really well for you, because it's already almost done for us. We're actually just going to hit check, and all I'm going to do just to compare is I'm going to hit a plus layer, and I'm going to make an empty layer. Okay, so we're going to go up to the and symbol up here. I know I'm going a bit quick, but this is going to be a very long upload. And if you guys really want to know how to do this, then, I mean, I'm going fully in depth. Color, and we're just going to make this whole background black, just so I can see what we're working with. So there we go. So now we have this Madden Mobile against a black background. So it's looking a little bit strange. So all we need to do is go over to this, and we're going to go ahead and select this right over the top, just so the very edge is touching the A and the M. And then we're going to go over to the pencil tool and clear. So that got rid of all that sort of white smoke, sort of. You can still see a little bit more in here, and I'll fix that up off camera. And all you guys got to do is just go down to here, use the eraser tool, adjust your brush, and just erase it by hand, and then you will get a nice Madden Mobile logo, pretty much almost perfect for you. And then we can keep moving on after you finish that up. Okay, so now you guys can see I cleaned everything up, and I just made everything completely white. All you have to do that is go ahead, hit your layer, say select pixels. It's going to select all the text. Go over to the and bar, and then you're going to say fill and stroke. And you guys know what that does. It just fills it in whatever color you want. I chose white just so we have a nice clean look to go with. So now we're going to go ahead and show the normal loading screen again. Drag it right under. Okay, we're just going to deselect here. And now we're just going to compare ours to theirs. So you guys can see ours is like really white, but theirs has sort of a gray to white. It changes color. It's called a gradient. So how you're going to get that, and it also has a bit of a shadow behind it. How you're going to get that is first, we're going to show ours again, and we're going to go ahead and select just Madden, and you're going to go plus layer, and you're going to say layer from selection. Now what that's going to do, and then you hit done. Now what you're going to want to do is hide that layer, okay? So you can see it's hidden right now. You can't actually tell. We're going to go back down to this other one, and we're going to clear the Madden away. Now, you guys can replay that if you need to, but all that's going to do is now we have Madden and mobile on separate layers. And then what you're going to want to do, select pixels on Madden, go ahead over to the and symbol, go to gradient. Now, it's pretty much going to give you, you're probably going to have some standard ones similar to this. Mine might be a bit different. I haven't really messed around with them too much. And all you want is just take a black to white gradient. I'm just using this one right at the bottom here, and just make it so there's just, it's mainly white with just a touch of gray at the bottom, like a very slight bit of gray. That should be fine. Doesn't have to be perfect. You guys can touch it up as much as you want. Maybe it's not completely gray, maybe it's kind of like a grayish blue, but for now we're just gonna do gray. You guys can be perfectionist, I don't really care. And there we go. So Madden Mobile, now we have, it's a bit of a white to gray, and that looks better than it did before. So now that we have that, all you need to do is go back to your Madden, and now we're going to hit this button right here that looks like the kind of hamburger menu, and say merge down. So now they're back to the same layer. You can see they hide and show at the same time pretty much. And then we're going to go to effects, and we're going to hit drop shadow. And you're just going to add like a very light shadow to it, which is what it looks like on the actual menu. And just get a little bit of blur in there. And then scroll down. No, I don't want it to be pink, actually. I don't know why it went to pink. We're going to go to black once again and scroll down on this menu and see how it says opacity 100. Just take that down to like, I don't know, it doesn't have to be perfect, but like say 53. So just a little bit of shadow on it. So now when we show this on our home screen, that's looking pretty good. Now it's time to make the background, put in our player, and we'll be doing pretty well. Okay guys, so while I was recording that next segment, for some reason the clip got deleted, but all I did was I went ahead and took the home screen right here, I duplicated it, and then all you want to do is just kind of clip around it until you get this loading bar. So all you need to do is just highlight sections of it, drag the thing around, and then just clear out the rest of the loading screen until you just get that loading bar on its own. That's all I did, and for some reason the footage was gone, so that's not too tough. We just got the loading bar in there. Now it's time to make the background. So the background is just the one that I use on that thumbnail, and it's the one I posted on Instagram. You guys can pretty much make whatever background you want. You can come up with a bunch of cool backgrounds, probably cooler than mine, but I'm just showing you guys the one that I use. So go on your internet browser and look up Madden 18 cover and try to find this photo right here, the Xbox One Tom Brady GOAT Edition. Just find this photo and then download it onto your phone. And then what you're going to want to do, take the eraser tool, and we're going to want to change the eraser tool a bit, and make the size a bit bigger, and take out Tom Brady, take out the Xbox logo, and take out the Madden 18, and just anything that's not this brown blur and the lights, take that all out. Now be careful, because the lights are going to be the main thing that's going to be showing out of this. So try not to erase too much of the lights, just try to get the top of Tom Brady's helmet, and that should be fine. We're going to go over to the Madden 18 GOAT Edition, erase all of that. Try not to take out too much of the lights once again. and that looks fine. And then down here, just take that out. Okay, so now this looks really, really weird, but trust me, it'll be fine. You're gonna want to go to this thing right here, clone stamp tool. You're gonna want to go to the brush and make it a pretty big brush. It can be almost maxed out, so make it say 150. Now this button right here, what this does, source, this is picking what is cloning. So all this tool does is, you can see I select something and I'm gonna brush whatever my selection looks like. So this is really nice because what it does is I can make the background off of what I already have, and it won't even look that bad. So pretty much all you want to do is just keep selecting new places and just keep brushing in new stuff. So eventually you're gonna actually get your background to look like the stuff that we deleted. It was never even there in the first place, and now we're just gonna have this nice background that we can put our player on and make our loading screen. So as you guys can see, it's going pretty good. All you want to do is just keep hitting source and just keep brushing down. Source, brush down. Source, brush down. Source, brush down. Alright, so that corner looks fine. There's kind of a hole there, and there's kind of a hole over there. There we go. Kind of blurry, but it's fine. Source, brush down. Source, brush down. I don't have to keep telling you guys this. You're intuitive enough. You just want to make sure that you're not using the same source all the time. Kind of mix it up, or else it's going to look a little bit strange. It won't even look that bad, but just kind of mix it up where you're selecting your clone from, and then just go around and just try to get it to look good. I mean, when you get near the lights, it's going to get a bit tougher, but just try to get some of the lights in it and some of the brown like that. That's fine. That's 100% fine. That looks good, actually. And then just keep going with the source, and eventually we're gonna have our background completely filled out, and nobody's even gonna know the difference. I mean, once your player's over it, once all the text is over it, I mean, who's even really looking at the background anyway? So then I can't even speak right now. Once you're done doing all of this, because this takes kind of a while, like 2 to 3 minutes. I don't know how long I've been talking. It's probably gonna take, yeah, around 3 minutes. Then what you're going to want to do is go back onto Google for the last time and look up a picture of a sports crowd. Now, I already have mine downloaded, but just go look up any crowd is going to do. Doesn't even have to be a sports crowd, really. Just any crowd of people, and download that photo onto your phone. Now, this is looking pretty good. We got the lights look actually really nice. And now we're just finishing up the last patches where you can still see the background. And just keep cloning, and look at this, guys. I mean, this background's going really well. Just keep going, don't stop. It doesn't have to look perfect, because we're going to be adding the crowd on top of this, so it's going to look really nice, actually, once we're done. I think that's probably good. You don't have to do the complete bottom, because that's where we're going to put the crowd photo, and we're going to blend it in with this background, so it looks really good. So don't even worry about the bottom. So now what we're going to do is go to add layer again. We're going to go add in a photo and take that photo of the crowd that you took from Google. You can use the one that I have right here. It's a pretty good photo. It's kind of blurry already, which is nice. And now we're just going to make that as wide as our background is. Put it in right about, let's say, it can be right about there, right to the edge of the lights. And now go to this options bar, this kind of tools settings, make it black and white, and we're going to make the lights black and white as well. So what that does is now you're going to be able to color these whatever you want. Now all you have to do is go to this, you're going to go up to the and symbol, and we're going to say fade. What this is going to do is it's going to allow us to pretty much what it sounds like, fade out the crowd, and so we can kind of get it nice and blurred in with the lights, so it looks pretty good. So take a look at this, guys. Once I do this, I mean, I can barely even, I mean, I can tell where it gets cut off, but you can play around with this as much as you want until you get a good looking fade. That looks pretty good, actually. And there is our background. So I mean, that's the background that right there. That's all you have to do. You can see kind of where we did some clone stamping right around there. But once you zoom it out, I mean, it's no big deal. Next thing you want to do, new layer, empty layer. And now we're going to colorize this background. I will get back to you guys in a little bit. Alright guys, so we're into the final stretch. Off camera, all I really did, I blurred the crowd a little bit more, and how you do that is you go to FX, and then you hit Gaussian blur, and all that did was just make the crowd a little bit more blurry, as you guys can see. And then those two layers, our lights and then our crowd, I merged them together, and how you do that, you go to the hamburger menu, and then you go to the one with the down arrow, and then you say merge down, and then both of them will combine together. So there's our background. We are almost done. Now it is time to put in our player and do the coloring and finish everything up. So here's how you're gonna put in the player. So let's go to open, new layer, photo layer, and you're gonna select your cutout that you guys did before. So whatever player you chose, hopefully it was a good picture. I already had mine cut out before we started this because I didn't want to waste the time in the video. This is already going to be a pretty long video. If you guys actually made it this far, then you guys really are like interested in doing this. That is so awesome to hear. And if you guys need any suggestions, then just DM me on Instagram. My link to that is always in the description. And if you made it this far, just comment down below something about Travis Kelce. Let's just go with Travis the Tank Engine, because this guy, he is a tank out on the field. He's going to be a really good tight end this year. And so here's what we're going to do when we're putting in the player. How you want to line it up and the size. So I always like to keep the majority of your player to the right of the Madden Mobile logo. So you can see Antonio Brown here, his face is always to the right. We don't want him over here on the left because it's just way too crammed. And then what you want to do with sizing is try to make his helmet about as big as Antonio Brown. So that looks about good. And you're always going to want a bit of his helmet cut off on the top, because that's what it's like on pretty much all the home screens. So once we get it looking pretty good, kind of line him up with Antonio Brown, maybe make him a little bit smaller. It doesn't have to be perfect, but once it looks pretty good, then we just hit check mark and he'll be placed in there. So let's go ahead and hit check. And now we're going to hide this layer, and there we go. So there's our Travis Kelce into the background. Now we just need to color the background. So how are we going to do this? We're just going to hide that Travis Kelce layer. We're going to go over to the background. We're going to hit plus and then empty layer. We're going to set this layer to an overlay. And what an overlay does, once again, it's just kind of it's like a film. It's like it just kind of goes on top and just shades whatever's under it. Then we're going to go to the and symbol. We're going to go to gradient. And here's where you can pick whatever color you want. I think I'm going to go with this, actually, that's already preset, this kind of dark bluish. And you guys can kind of, as you can see, wherever I put it, it's going to color it differently. I kind of want the whole thing to be colored blue. So I'm going to kind of go like that. That looks pretty good. You guys can use whatever color you want, kind of match up the color to your player if you want, or just do a different color. Travis Kelce's uniform is red and yellow and white, but this is dark blue just because I like the way that it looks. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but there we go. There's our colored background. Easy as that. And just make sure that that's always on top of your background and it'll always stay colored. Next thing you have to do is we're going to put plus empty layer once again. And now we're going to set this on overlay as well. So we're going to be using a lot of overlays, so you guys are going to want to get to know what that does. As you guys can see what it does, it kind of just makes a... I already told you guys, it just sits on top of it. Now we're going to go to FX, Photo, and we're going to go to this feature called Grainy Night. And what this is going to do, you guys can see, it kind of gives it this pretty much grain, which is what it looks like on the actual thing. You guys can see if I zoom in on Antonio Brown, there's a lot of grain in him. It's not a completely HD photo, and that's how we get that effect. And then we're just going to set this opacity down to maybe like something around the 30s. You don't want it to be too strong and too grainy, but let's just say 15. That looks fine for the background, and we're going to do the same thing with our player. So how we're going to get the player colored, we're going to say select pixels, and then we're going to add an empty layer once again. And then this one is going to be another overlay. And then we're going to color him just like we did the background, except we want to color him a little bit less, just kind of a faint, just a faint color. And then we're going to do the grain on him as well, and then we're almost completely done. So let's hit the and symbol, gradient, and try to use the same color that you just did. on the background, I like to do a bit of like a diagonal coloring on him, just so his face still gets a bit of light in it, not completely blue on his face. I think that looks pretty good, so we're gonna hit the check mark there. So there's our coloring on Travis Kelce, and deselect pixels now, and we're gonna make this a little bit lighter. It's a little bit too blue on the bottom there. Let's just make it like an 87. That looks pretty nice. And then finally, we're gonna select pixels one more time, add another empty layer, and then set this one to overlay as well. And then you're gonna do the grainy night filter on him and make that around a 30% like see-through, or whatever it's called, opacity. Set it to 30% around that. Grainy night, and check. As you can see, it makes him really grainy, but we're gonna make that a little bit less because we don't want it to be completely grainy. So we're gonna go around, yeah, 27% looks fine. So that looks really nice in my opinion. That I'll probably just make this the thumbnail of the video. We're almost done though, so pretty much all we need to do is just combine all these layers together. So we're gonna say merge down 3 times, merge down, merge down. So there's our Travis Kelce colored and everything, and we're gonna take these all the way to the bottom. We're gonna also take the background to the bottom, but don't merge the background or else it kind of messes up some of the coloring. I'm not sure why, but just make sure that you keep these in the same order. So we're gonna have the blue on top and then the grain on top of the blue, and then we just need Travis Kelce right there. And as you guys can see, we are so close to being done. It is looking really good. The only thing we have left really is the text, and the text really isn't that important, but as you guys can see, the 2016 Electronic Arts, that part right there, you can put whatever you want there. I usually put like 2017 Sabrtooth YouTube, something like that. And here under the loading bar, you can put whatever you want really either. I'm just gonna put signing contracts. So how we're gonna do that, we're gonna back out, we're gonna save this because it's looking pretty good. We are so close to being done. And then we need to go over to our Fonto app, and that's where you get the fonts and such. I told you guys already, but Hawksnest, go look him up. He's a good YouTuber, number 1. And number 2, that's where you can get this font that EA uses. We already have signing contracts typed in. Make sure it's all in caps. And yeah, in the link of the description of his video, he has like a MediaFire file that you can download, and the font's in there somewhere. So a little bit of a free shout out publicity to him, but no, he's got a bunch of great stuff in there. So that's where you can get the font completely free. I had to search around on the internet to find what was found. It was really annoying. It's called Endzone Sans, just for if you guys want to know, but that in my opinion is the much easier way to do it. So now that you saved that Fonto file, all we want to do is open it up. First, we're gonna show this layer of the real background photo layer. We're gonna go over to Fonto and then open that up into our text, so we can get the so we can get the signing contracts part in there. I may have it saved already, so we do have 2 of them saved. So signing contracts, let's add this in right here, and we'll size it up later. It can just go in like that, that's fine. What you have to do though is go up to here, replace color, because we don't want that black in there. We're gonna make the threshold 100, and instead of replacing it with pink, I think we did this before already, you want to make the pink, the opacity on the pink 0, so it's 100% see-through. That's all opacity does. The lower percentage it is, the more see-through your thing is. So now we just have signing contracts on its own, and all we have to do now is just shrink this down. It actually, hold on, I think we actually did a little too much on it, because it actually took some of the white and made it see-through as well, which we don't want to do. So maybe not 100% threshold, maybe like 72%. Yeah, that's fine. As you guys can see, it brightened up right away. So if you're using pink to replace, it's gonna replace some of the white too, and that's not that good. So now we're just gonna zoom in on this signing contracts, and we were literally so close to being done. If this did help you guys out in any way, just make sure to hit that like button, because this took a while to do. Obviously, it's probably gonna take me a couple, like an hour or two to upload this and all that. But there we go, signing contracts right on the top there, and we are done, guys. That is it. Let's zoom out, and bang, there is our Madden Mobile 18 loading screen background. Looks really, really nice, and I was able to make that all for you guys live. So hopefully you guys have learned something, and you can go and make some of these on your own as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you do end up making one, post it on Instagram and tag me at Sabrtooth_YT, and I will like your photo, and I want to see what you guys have got. Thank you guys so much for watching. Go out there, break some ankles, design some cool stuff, guys. Stay hungry, stay humble, and remember, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.